I tell people, fund women, save the world. And I've had some people say, what? Fun women will save the world. And I'm like, no, not fun women, although fun women probably will save the world. What I said was fund with a D. Fund women, save the world. In fact, the Dalai Lama says that the Western women will save the world. But I ask you, how are we going to do that without funding? Did you know that women get less than 3% of venture capital funding and less than 15% of traditional funding? This means that men get 90% of all the investment monies. They get the lion's share for their ideas and inventions and businesses. One of the reasons is that more than 85% of venture capital companies have no, that's zero, female decision makers. Zero. And most of the angel investors are men too. So, what is our takeaway from this? We need more female decision makers in the funding world, period. So how are we as fearless women gonna change this? Well, I have some ideas and solutions to share with you today. For me, this is personal because I've always been a serial entrepreneur since my 20s when I had several businesses and a full-time job. That is, until I left corporate America at the age of 40. Do not ask when that was. Now, I was a super successful account executive in cable TV advertising for 15 years, top in the country. But I decided I wanted to leave and help make a difference in the world, and I had an opportunity to help start a gay cable network. Now, I decided, I want to take my abilities to generate advertising dollars and put it toward that venture. And at the time, we had very little gay characters on television, if any, and definitely no gay cable network. And I thought, wow, if we could have gay characters on TV in a positive light, that could really affect the confidence and boost the self-esteem of young gay people. And then I called on these businesses to advertise on this network, and they would say to me, well, we don't have any gay TV advertising dollars. And I'd say, well, of course you don't. There's never been any gay programming. You're gonna have to take it from your regular TV budget and print budget and move it over to this. And thankfully, many of them did that. Then after the network, I thought the next most important thing for the LGBTQ community was for us to have gay marriage. I thought that would give hope to young people in that community that one day they would have a loving family unit like everybody else. So that's when I decided to create my very first documentary called I Cant Marry You, about same-sex marriage. And I asked Ellen DeGeneres' mom, Betty, a human rights campaign activist, to narrate it. And thankfully she did. And so I envisioned this film on PBS. And right at the time I completed it, we were able to get married in California and Massachusetts. And fortunately, they agreed to air it because they had very little content on this topic. You know, I later read that getting your documentary on television was like winning the lottery. 1 in a million. Who knew? So I was just really glad that I followed my insights and did that film that impacted society in a positive way and still lives on in college libraries and online today, and that I was the recipient of all of that hard work because now I'm married. So that's the best part of it all. By now you can probably tell I've always been a champion for the underdog. And so about 5 years ago, I decided to shift my focus from producing LGBTQ media to empowering women, all women, especially when I found out that in the funding world, women were clearly the underdog. So I launched a multimedia platform to empower women, and as an entrepreneur, I thought I want to share my connections and resources and lessons I've learned with other women to help them soar. And this platform entailed conferences, workshops, a podcast, and a book. And all of these things had one mission in mind, and that was to inspire and mentor and fund women. That was the whole purpose of it. Now, prior to this venture, I had, garnered and raised money and had partners, but in this particular venture, I decided to invest in it myself. I was able to attract an amazing team and an awesome advisory board to help us grow it. Now, before I did these conferences and workshops, I really had no idea how dramatically women were underfunded, and realized most other people didn't know either. That's when I had an epiphany to create a pitch fest to fund women. And as a filmmaker, I decided to follow the journeys of the women that were the recipients of the funding and mentorship. So we solicited submissions from women that had game-changing ideas, but they weren't able to get the funding or the support to execute them. I mean, we had incredible entries. A couple come to mind. One woman had invented a special cap for chemotherapy patients. It kept them from losing their hair. I was like, wow. And then another one, she had a real estate solution to the affordable housing problem. I was like, these are amazing entries. And I thought, if we could reach women and educate them around the world and the men that support them, we could change this underfunding issue. And then these amazing ideas and inventions could come to fruition and help make the world a better place. As we all know, in order to solve a problem, we have to make people aware that one exists and then give them solutions of how to change it. The problem became crystal clear to me when I had a hard time finding women investors to be on the Pitch Fest panel to hear the incredible ideas of these female founders. That is, until I realized that there are female angel investment groups out there that existed. However, these angel investor group women explained to me that while many women are great about giving to charities, which is awesome, not many understood the benefits of angel investing. That's why only 22% of angel investors are women. They also explained to me another very important thing, that it is so important for women to be at the funding table because people tend to invest in people they identify with, that they relate to. That is why, if the funding decision makers are predominantly white men, that is who are the majority of the recipients. Women better understand and identify with female founders. And therefore, that is why we need more women at the funding table. You know, as we all know, throughout history, so many fearless women have had accomplishments that have helped change the course of the world. Think about it. What if we didn't have women's inventions like two-time Nobel Prize winner Madame Curie, who discovered radium, which led to modern-day X-rays, and Grace Hopper, who invented computer programming. Yes, computer programming was invented by a woman. And let's not forget Patricia Bath. She invented the first cataract laser device, and Anna Conley invented the first fire escape. Not to mention, let's see, the car heater, the electric refrigerator, the central heating. These are all inventions of women, just to name a few. So many creations and cures and solutions that will help save the planet rest in the hands of women. And that's why I am so passionate about us fixing this underfunding issue. Of course, we want the men in our lives to invest in their daughters and wives and sisters and friends. But ultimately, it's about women getting behind women, because waiting for men to invest in us, how's that been working for us? And now that women control more than 30% of all the wealth, which is trillions of dollars, and we impact more than 80% of the buying decisions, we're finally in a position to invest in women's ventures. It starts with you being fearless and proactive. And what I mean by that is, think about it. You could join an angel investor group, And I think of this as the new book club. Instead of reading a book, you're getting to hear the pitches of these amazing innovations that are breaking ground in science and technology and education and healthcare. How exciting is that? You know, like any investment, there are risks, but those are mitigated by the fact that these groups are run by seasoned investors that teach logistics that hedge those bets. And let's not forget, research shows that women entrepreneurs outperform their male counterparts. Another reason to invest in them. Together, we can solve this underfunding issue and level the playing field. We can create a movement that will create gender equity in funding. Let's close that gap. It is fulfilling and empowering and gratifying to leave a legacy that helps change the world. And if you don't have that big idea, you can get behind somebody that does. You know, we have plenty of female founders. We need more female funders. You know, I wonder how many lives will be changed when all of you go home and you search for that angel investment group near you and you become the next angel investor. We need more female angel investors, period. Imagine a world where women are funded, and you could be that person that gets behind that next big great idea that helps change the world. It could be your legacy and your purpose on the planet. And really, what could be more fun than that? Thank you.